Coming up on Tech News Today, the unholy marriage of Microsoft and Nokia. The stuff of dreams, rumors, or reality? We'll tell you. Also, Google is disappearing Google TV. We'll tell you why. And a Kinect lightsaber fight. Will it impress Sarah Lane? We'll find out.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for Tech News Today is provided by Cachefly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is Tech News Today for Monday, December 20th, 2010. Tech News Today brought to you by Slingbox, which just turned your iPad into a television. It's magic! Slingbox introduces the new iPad app just in time for the holidays, so now you can watch your home TV on your iPad anywhere you take it. Check it out at Best Buy or slingbox.com. And by MailRoute.info. MailRoute is a secure hosted service that provides enterprise-grade virus and spam filtering to companies of any size. Try it right now, absolutely free, at MailRoute.info. Welcome to Tech News Today. I'm Tom Merritt.
I'm Sarah Lane.
I'm Darren Kitchen.
And I'm Jason Howell.
Look, fresh tech stories. Just
love that
off
smell.
the griddle.
Like in the coffee commercials when they open the thing and it goes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best
Smells
part,
so nice.
It's got that new tech story smell.
downloading
It's a shame you can't
Tech
can
News
that spray it
Today.
on everything.
I
in your
know.
earphones.
It's got to be fresh.
Verizon is teasing Android LTE hardware for their announcement at CES. On Twitter, they said, at @CES, pound Android and pound LTE dash. Could it be
Rolls
like
off
peanut
the
butter
tongue.
and chocolate? Yum! Exclamation point.
Deliciousness.
And by that,
Yum is in all caps, by the way.
Yeah.
In case.
Read into this.
maybe that
You weren't
stands
aware
for
of-
something.
Android and LTE are not like peanut butter and chocolate because peanut butter and chocolate are two separate desserts that one thinks, oh, I wonder if they'll be good together. I don't know. Everyone knows that LTE on Android would be fine. That's like peanut butter and jelly.
This tweet is, I get what they're going for, but I mean, some people are like deathly allergic to peanut butter. Some people don't like peanut butter and chocolate.
Dogs are poisoned by
You
chocolate.
can take it a variety of
Dogs are not
ways.
poisoned by LTE.
Peanut butter will kill your dog, or chocolate will kill your dog.
Yeah.
LTE, not so much.
No.
Peanut butter's just funny with your dog.
However, it
Just
does.
need to
I am excited
Like
about
20 minutes.
Android phones being announced that will work on a Verizon LTE network at CES. It also means there's just no way they're announcing any kind of Verizon iPhone anytime soon.
Well, don't you think that if there were to be a Verizon iPhone announcement, it would be kind of like a big deal, kind of Jobs-esque press announcement? Kind
Yeah,
of
like maybe
do
an
their
Apple,
own thing.
an Apple event
It
of
would
some
be a
kind.
Jobs press announcement.
Would it?
Steve Jobs is going.
You think
He
so?
doesn't let the carriers make his announcements.
You got a good point there. I mean,
Yeah, can you imagine if we're just roaming the CES floor and it's like, oh wait, here's the Verizon iPhone table.
Yeah, it's just got it on.
It's like over in the corner.
And
On
what's
display.
going on here? It's white.
Yeah.
What is going
yeah.
This is weird. Huh. You guys come on over here.
And it's
true, 'cause
built
when-
into a television. Wow.
Because when is the last time we saw an Apple announcement at CES?
Never.
Yeah,
No.
so it is an app. So yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
they
It is more
don't
of an
do
Apple
that.
announcement than a Verizon announcement.
All right. Motorola also teasing a CES tablet launch. This one will have Android Honeycomb. We're over gingerbread already. Hasn't even been rolled out.
It's all about the bees.
We're done. We're all about the honeycomb, baby. They've got a video showing how it's very different from hieroglyphic tablets.
It's also different from the Ten Commandments.
Yes. Because you can't edit the Ten Commandments.
The
as many
Mayan calendar,
people have
also
tried.
Which-
highly outdated.
Has an expiration date, 2012.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of an issue.
I actually thought this commercial was kind of funny.
It was cute.
It's
I didn't get the
interesting.
B at the end.
Until they got to the iPad, though.
Well, and the Rosetta Stone, I've been to the British Museum. I've seen the Rosetta Stone. That's not what it looks like.
right, no, the Rosetta Stone is actually real. It's not
Yeah.
even a cartoon.
No.
So,
I love what they said about the iPad, though. It's like
Well,
a giant iPhone.
except that
But
it's
it's
a
like a
giant-
giant iPhone.
But the thing is like, who says that's bad? That's why I like the iPad.
I know.
The
Myself
grid
as well.
Because
pad?
it's...
Agree
I
with
remember
you
the
there.
grid pad, actually. That was kind of a cool thing.
When was the grid pad?
89.
89.
And then they go busting the chops of our friend the Galaxy Tab.
Really? I missed that. I guess
it's right here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's right at the end.
Hey, the Galaxy Tab.
Galaxy
in
Tab.
2010. Yeah, they say
Android
it's
OS, but Android OS for a phone.
Because it's gingerbread, or
Blech.
it's not even gingerbread. It's
Honeycomb.
froyo.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so Motorola's like getting all snotty. But we're going to see a lot of tablets at the CES. I have a feeling.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just thinking. So Motorola's trying to make sure people visit their booth with that.
I'm intrigued. It's effective as far as I'm concerned.
I'm intrigued. Yeah. I'm not hopeful.
No?
This is just going to be a tablet like all the other tablets.
You can't lose hope, Tom.
Just a cartoon of huge tablet-like things from history does not convince me of anything. No. And the fact that it's got honeycomb, it's like, well, they'll have honeycomb on it when Google unveils honeycomb, which means this tablet isn't coming out anytime soon.
Well, what I read from this, though, is that, okay, yeah, we've got an Android tablet coming, but we've done some alteration to the OS to make it more tablet-like than phone-like, which, okay.
Well, that's just the honeycomb OS. Yeah. The honeycomb OS is meant for tablets. Google has said that much. Okay. So all they're saying is repeating what Google said already, I feel like. Yes,
but they repeated it with 3D animation, and then there was a bee, and, hey, bees like honey.
True enough. Nokia apparently might also like Microsoft. A report on eWeek says that Nokia and Microsoft are considering a Windows Phone 7 partnership. The source is a blogger Nokia has previously taken legal action against. But Unwired View reports that Russian blogger Eldar Murtazin, in a weekly op-ed in Mobile Review, says Nokia has initiated talks with Microsoft. I don't know if this has any shred of truth to it, but I think it's a fabulous idea, and I think Nokia and Microsoft both need this for their slightly leaky, if not sort of sinking ships. Definitely Nokia's phone business, smartphone business is leaking. Windows Phone 7, it's just out of the dock, but it doesn't seem to be floating very high in the water.
I'd be kind of more inclined to believe this Russian blogger because Nokia has tried to silence him in the past because he apparently has good sources.
Well, I mean, it sounds great because, Nokia makes fantastic hardware, and, with that behind it, it would almost be akin to Motorola getting behind the initial Android push with the Droid.
Yeah.
But I just don't see Nokia doing something like that when they've got so much invested in the new Migo stuff.
I think it would be smart anyway. I know what you're saying, but the idea of having an internal operating system and also making devices for other operating systems diversifies you, ensures you against risk in the marketplace, and it's one of the reasons that they have Symbian and Migo is because they want to have a diversity of operating systems. So why not also play in the Windows Phone 7 marketplace, especially if you can say, look, Microsoft, you need to be on a lot more devices worldwide. We can do that. We are still the leader in worldwide phones.
Right. So you're saying, be on both akin to like Palm back in the day embracing Windows Mobile with like the Trio brand where you could get it in either the Palm flavor or the Windows flavor. Saying, Nokia having both their Migo stuff and also, dabbling with Windows Phone 7?
Yeah, or more to, that's probably not the best analogy since Palm fell on its face with that strategy, but Motorola, HTC, lots of other device makers have done that.
I find that tough to swallow just because it's a big change in their corporate culture. But
and they have a brand new CEO. And they said we need to change the corporate culture. So you're totally right. That is a huge change. And I may be dreaming here, but
I just kind of feel like they've got that, not made here mentality.
Maybe we'll see it at CES right next to the Verizon iPhone.
Maybe.
Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe we won't. Maybe carry on.
One thing we won't see at CES, is that what you're trying to say? One thing we won't see at CES is Google TV.
Why
not? Because Google apparently asked Toshiba, LG, and Sharp to not show their versions of the web TV platform, saying that they actually want to take some time and get Google TV working right before they make a big deal out of it.
Well, I have to say, as disappointing as I'm sure that is for a lot of people, it's the right thing to do. If they don't have something that's going to wow people at CES, don't show it off.
Yeah, but isn't the genie kind of out of the bottle a little bit? Like the expectation is there that there's going to be some Google TV because it's already out?
Yeah.
Well, there are some
bad timing to backtrack.
Isn't Toshiba and LG also already showing off their Google TV platforms? It's just they
Vizio
want the other ones.
And it's not like you won't see a single Google TV device on the floor, but I think what they're saying is let's not make as big of a splash. And Google can, at this point, call a press conference just like Apple and get all the major press to come and visit it. It might be a better situation anyway because it wouldn't get lost in and amongst all of the CES hoopla.
Well, if say Verizon/Apple doesn't need CES to launch, a Verizon iPhone, and Google saying we don't need CES to, make a big splash about Google TV, then what does that say about the relevance of CES?
Well, what it says is it's hard to get heard, so it's good for the folks who have something that they think they can slip into a news cycle that wouldn't get noticed otherwise. But for a big company like Google and Apple, it's probably not that great of a situation.
And I guess when you partner with, like Verizon, well, maybe not Verizon, but your Sharp, your Samsung, your other device manufacturers that are making the hardware for this Google platform, since they're married with that platform, they get the boost of having that bigger company that can then hold those press conferences and show off their hardware.
And don't forget, CES is actually meant as a trade show, not a big press conference. It's meant for people who run retail operations, among other things, to come in and make orders for the coming year. So if Google's like, you know what, we really don't want you to be taking a bunch of orders. We don't need to worry about that right now. We want to get the software right. That also makes sense to me.
That sounds good.
There you go. It's good. And we have proclaimed it good. Another good thing is our sponsor, Slingbox. They have just turned your iPad into a television. Look, go take a look at it. This episode of Tech News Today is brought to you by Slingbox. Just in time for the holidays, Slingbox introduces their new iPad app. You can watch your home TV on your iPad anywhere you take it. Slingbox is a great holiday gift. You buy it for a gift giver, and all they do is plug it into their home television and their home internet. And if they've got an iPad, they can watch all of their home TV on their iPad anywhere they have an internet connection. You can find Slingbox or see a demo at Best Buy or check it out at slingbox.com. Slingbox and your home TV now appearing on iPads everywhere. Go check it out.
Woohoo.
Could save Christmas. It could save your holidays.
It's a miracle.
Go look at it. Slingbox.com. Mark Zuckerberg is in China taking a look around. He's probably visiting the Great Wall. He's probably trying to figure out how to punch holes in the Great Firewall. And he is talking to Baidu, amongst others, about how he might possibly do business in China. This is going to cause controversy because any business that decides to go to China has to deal with China's government and China's government's laws on censorship. And that can get you in trouble with a lot of activists.
Right. Most notably Google there recently, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, Google went in and then sort of pulled out. Yeah. Now they're like got 1 foot in. Mark Zuckerberg says, how can you connect the whole world if you leave out 1 billion people?
That's a very good point, Zuckerberg.
Now, China already has social networks.
Self-defining premise, right? Well, if you leave out anyone and you want to connect everyone, then you can't connect everyone.
Yeah.
It's sort
if you
of
leave out
tautology.
1 billion people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that Facebook has, China equivalents.
Yeah, there's two, I forget exactly what they're called, but they only have, what
Cakes,
is it? 150 million users. One has like 80 million.
Well, yeah, we haven't heard of them because we live here.
Right.
But yeah, there are a couple. There's a couple of social networks like Facebook there, and then there's a Twitter equivalent. The Twitter equivalent is called NetEase.
Well, there's 500 million potential internet population people there. Population people. That
500 million internet population.
There we go. Yeah. So boost the numbers of Facebook if they can get a grasp in China.
Well, Facebook is heavily blocked in China right now, so it goes without saying. So I won't say it. No, it would go without saying that Facebook would have to change its business model. It would have to change how it does things. It would have to not let people post things that it lets them post now.
Or at least not within China.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's very complicated.
And don't you think the Chinese government would just love all this personal information that everybody just volunteers up on their profiles?
They have it already, don't they?
No, yeah.
They don't need Facebook for
that.
They're teaching Facebook things. Yeah. That's probably what he's really there for.
Oh, yeah.
How do you collect this much information?
Well, you see, Candy Mountains.
Sugar Mountain.
Sugar Mountain.
I bet there's a Chinese character for that. Anyway, it's making a lot of news, and it's obviously a big deal. It will be more interesting if Facebook comes up with a strategy of how they could do business in China. But Zuckerberg's right. I mean, if he wants to be a worldwide company, and at this point there's no acquisition model for Facebook. They are the acquirer now. They are too big for that. They're at some point when a company gets big, they have to look at China and figure out how to do business there.
I don't know. How do we feel about this?
Maybe it's buying a social network in China and operating it separately from Facebook.
I think that almost makes more sense than anything else.
Yeah.
Buying Ren and
buy
expanding
Ren, make it a subsidiary, and then move down the road towards integrating them into Facebook and maybe trying to use that to push for change.
Yeah.
rather than try to operate Facebook and stay true to Facebook's principles of openness. I mean, Facebook's one defense whenever they're talking about like violating your privacy is we believe in openness. We believe in sharing everything with everybody. That's why we push it so hard.
Right.
China, as far as I get it, and maybe, I'm not trying to be a political science here, but they don't seem to be so down with the open.
It would definitely have to be a far different Facebook.
Yeah. Wall Street Journal says apps are very open. In fact, they're so open, they're probably violating your privacy. They took 101 popular apps for iPhone and Android phones and discovered that over half transmitted unique device identifiers of your phone, the UDID, to advertisers without telling you. One of the apps that did this is Pandora. You use Pandora, Sarah.
Love Pandora. I use it almost every day when I'm at the gym.
Do you like that it transmits your age, gender, and location?
Well, I mean, I know what I'm supposed to say is no, I don't like that. They should not be doing that.
That's right, Sarah.
But so I use the free Pandora app because I don't know why. I just don't pay. So I do get commercials here and there. I've noticed that lately I've gotten Target commercials. The actual
You've been targeted with
Target store commercials,
wow.
Yes. And, I mean, if I'm going to listen to a commercial, I already know that I'm going to get them sporadically because I'm using the free Pandora app. I don't know. I mean, they seem somewhat targeted to me. I guess it's better than targeting, I don't know, like car engines or something that I'm less interested in than soap.
The idea is that you'll get better ads that mean more to you than like if you were to get Depends ads like we were talking about last week.
I know that advertisers don't want to hear this, but I think I'm pretty good at just zoning that stuff out.
No, I'm not.
They know that.
I got targeted these North Face ads to the point where I actually paid for a subscription to Pandora now. Can't hear those North Face ads.
Well, but you're not zoning. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I guess I find I don't have a good enough reason to get up in arms about this.
Well, Darren, what do you think is the worst that can happen in this situation? They're taking information without your permission. That's always the biggest deal, is that they haven't asked. But
you may or may not have agreed to it.
Let's say if you've agreed to it.
Yeah, you may or may not have.
Is there a reason you shouldn't agree to that?
Not necessarily. Unfortunately, that's just the way that things are going. That's how these apps
What's the worst they could do with this data?
Themselves. The worst thing they could do is like if some hacker were to like collate all of this data and get access to the stream and mash it up with other public information and then what but that's the thing is the unique ID is in a lot of cases whitewashed, a lot of cases anonymous, and then what do they know? Just your age, your location,
your age, location, gender.
I mean, we've seen stuff like this before. It was at TorCon recently, talking to some guys over at Harris that put together some amazing stuff where they basically took what was public information, not necessarily supposed to be public in this regard, information about the cellular network and your location, and just using a lot of brute force and a lot of looking up other public information, collated and was able to pinpoint where you possibly are with your cell phone.
But that's hackers getting into this, and that is one risk of this. I guess the other risk is that the advertisers aren't being honest about it being anonymized.
I think that's the more important thing here. And for these apps that are doing this, they just need to make it more prominent that this is what they're doing.
A lot of these apps that they tested didn't have privacy policies, so you have no idea what they're doing with it.
Well, there's the issue.
Yeah.
Well, so what do? When you sign up for something, you just lie about your gender and your age, and then you win. I mean.
It's a little harder with the phone though, because the location bit is done by the your
and your
GPS
and you may have your gender and your age in your settings
right
for a good reason that you don't want to lie about it.
Yeah.
Or your social security information.
I think that right now this is just the price of some of those free services like Pandora. And they should just make an effort to make it more transparent how they're handling your data. But as long as I feel as long as the data is anonymized before it goes out to the advertisers, if that's going to make the system better where I'm not getting North Face ads, then there we go. Nobody gets punched.
Boy, they really overdid those ads.
They really did.
AT&T is buying Qualcomm's Flow TV spectrum. That may not mean anything to you, so let me reinterpret that. There was a product called Flow TV, which delivered wireless television. It was owned by Qualcomm. It operated on the lower part of the 700 megahertz spectrum, and AT&T is buying that license to use that spectrum. That means that AT&T has some more spectrum to roll out their 4G services into.
And this is the recently
so AT&T might just get more awesome. That's possible.
As if that were possible. Qualcomm plans to shut down Flow TV in March, so they're not going to be using this anytime soon. But AT&T says it plans to use the unpaired spectrum, which is from the lower part 700 megahertz D and E blocks, that's channel 55 and 56 for those of you who know what that means, as a supplemental downlink using carrier aggregation technology. They say it's going to give them substantial capacity gains by enabling unpaired spectrum to be used in conjunction with paired spectrum. So I guess the idea is to alleviate heavy traffic when you're
doing like streaming video, stuff like that, and just go switch over to that kind of stuff if it was available. But this, of course, would require an upgrade in the network and also devices that know how to use it. So it doesn't mean anything to anybody on AT&T's network right now.
They wouldn't get the spectrum till the earliest middle of the year, and then they would have to have devices that take advantage of it come out. So I think 2012. If you're thinking about this.
But that's when everything ends, Tom.
Oh, right.
This gets complicated.
Maybe this is how it starts.
Oh.
Whenever someone says 2012, this is how it ends, just say, maybe this is how it starts.
And then we all go,
yeah, because it's such a ridiculous thing to begin with. You can make them believe anything. The United Kingdom, speaking of ridiculous things, wants to protect the children by blocking all internet porn, not just child porn, but all porn. The British government will talk with the ISPs next month, at which I am assuming the ISPs will laugh heartily at them, to ask them to make porn blocking mandatory. Although this Slashdot posting I'm looking at says they appear to be happy to comply. Adults who want to access pornography through their internet connections will then have to opt in to the porn.
Please, I would like some porn.
Please, sir, may I have some porn? I guess. They think if the ISPs manage to block all child porn, they'd be able to block all other porn as well. This is not going to work.
No, how could it possibly?
Yeah.
What?
How would this work?
Who is saying that this will work?
Forget the speech implications of this. I mean, that in itself is a whole issue of like, do you have the right to block all the porn for adults? It's one thing to make it, only kids.
Save
kids
the
can't
children,
But
Tom.
really, you just block all the porn? The thing is, the internet does not work like cable television. You can't just say, make sure that Cinemax is turned off unless someone wants it. Like, it's the internet.
Right.
How do you decide of all the sites, which sites are porn and which sites are not?
And this goes.
What do you do about sites that get on the block list accidentally? And
this goes contrary to Rule 34 completely. That is, if it exists, there is a porn for it. So how are you going to, what are you going to do about that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, what looked like just, big floofy socks to someone is porn to someone else.
I mean, it's almost not even worth. It's just not going to work. So it's not even worth saying, well, this isn't fair. And
right.
I mean, it's just
because all of those
somewhat ludicrous.
All of those block lists just block websites. They don't do anything about peer-to-peer or bulletin board systems or many other means of the internet.
Embedding a video.
Yeah.
When I said the ISPs were happy, that's what the Slashdot.
Right?
They're happy to talk about it. Trevor Davies, Chief Technology Officer at ISP Timico, says, quote, unfortunately, it's technically not possible to completely block this stuff. The sheer volume of pornographic material online and the number of ways people have to access it may make the job impossible.
Well, just like it's not possible to block Facebook from China. I mean, there's reports in that Slashdot article about people that are like, hey, I'm in China and I'm using Slashdot, it's Slashdot, using Facebook. I mean, it's the internet. You can't put, the politics just don't really work. It's not black and white in that regard.
This episode of Tech News Today is brought to you by MailRoute. They can block spam. Businesses of every size use MailRoute. They have over 50,000 users, some of the companies that use it. Or if it's just one user, they'll welcome you too. MailRoute will protect you from spam and viruses, simplifies your life, makes your email usable again. It's a secure hosted service that filters virus and spam for companies of any size, whether you're a single user or a company with tens of thousands of employees. Typical MailRoute customers see a 95% reduction in their inbound email volume. I honestly have had a 99% reduction in my inbound email volume to acedetect@subrilliant.com. I haven't had a false positive. It is bulletproof perfect for me so far. This is just an incredible service. Leo's been using it for more than 6 years. It was started by Tom Johnson, who wrote FrontBridge. FrontBridge was acquired by Microsoft in 2005, is still delivered as part of Microsoft Exchange hosted services. There's nothing easier for mail filtering than MailRoute. There's no hardware or software install. You sign up with MailRoute. You change an MX record for your domain to start your mail flowing through them, and then they send it back to you. They do all the work for you. Visit mailroute.info. Sign up as a TWiT listener. You'll receive a 10% discount off the life of your account. Small business accounts start at $2 per user per month for 10 users. And because of the TWiT army, MailRoute has added a new service for individual users as well, less than $30 per year per user for single users. Visit mailroute.info and sign up with the email filtering service that myself and Leo use. And don't get any more spam. You want to sound like Dvorak? Sign up for mailroute.info. Time for the news fuse. Captain, About.me just launched the public 4 days ago, giving everyone the ability to make a snappy-looking personal page about themselves. AOL seems to have liked it. They just bought it. TechCrunch reports AOL is paying $10 million to acquire About.me. This is like the opposite of Groupon.
Yeah. $10 million.
We've been public for 4 days. Buy us. $10 million. Great. Sold.
I know. Remember when 10 million was like a huge number?
Ah, yes.
I mean, it still seems like a huge number to me.
Well, yeah. I mean, when I was...
But to AOL, I'm sure
when you were
it's a
offered
drop in
$10
the
million
bucket.
to work here, you're like, wow, that's a good salary.
Well, I negotiated up a bit.
Sure,
but
of
it was a
course.
good start.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, once upon a time, that would have been a lot of money. It's just funny how it's like... do we all have About.me profiles?
I do.
Everybody in this room?
I do.
No?
No.
Yeah.
Well, now you can have one, and it'll be your AOL profile.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
It's like
The AOL
really
address I
living
never
in the
had.
future.
He's like, post AOL about me.
Oh, that's so sad. Hacksaw. Microsoft has quietly discontinued Office Genuine Advantage, or OGA, or as it's commonly known, Original Gangster, which required users required users to verify the legitimacy of their Office software before being able to download add-ons and templates from Microsoft, as well as download software updates Microsoft deemed non-critical. The OGA program had been put into place in late 2006.
Yeah, you remember all those classifications about those 4G networks?
Yes,
you know?
4G is LT Advanced or WiMAX. What?
No, they were saying, they were like, dude, it's got to be 1 gigabit or higher and all that good stuff, right? And then everybody's like, oh, we've got 4G, it's LTE, or 4G.
Right.
It's
That's what I'm
WiMAX.
saying. Like, you can't call that. That's not 4G.
Well, the ITU, the International Telecommunications Union, they just decided, all right, we'll go with that. That'll work.
They caved?
Yeah, they caved, and they said, all right, you know, any of this LTE and WiMAX stuff, or any of the more evolved 3G technologies, providing a
Like even the
substantial
T-Mobile
level
stuff?
of implementation and performance and capabilities with respect to the initial third-generation system, yeah, that can be considered 4G now.
Score one for the marketers. It's a jolly electronics Christmas this year, or other holiday. According to ComScore, computer hardware is the product category showing the most growth for the season in online sales, a 25% increase compared with last year. Other consumer electronics like TVs have grown 22% amongst online buyers over the same period over last year, and computer software, not too shabby, even not counting games, grew 16%.
The UK Information Commissioner's Office, or ICO, or as it's more commonly called, it's just called the Information Commissioner's Office, confirmed that Google has deleted personal data collected by Google's UK Street View cars. Some was deleted back in November, but legal wrangles in other countries meant that the remaining data, all of which the firm said was collected in error, took more time to erase. The deletion was carried out by U.S. forensics firm Stross Friedberg.
Congratulations, Google, and your RM Tech RF. Speaking of other fun tax, more than 100 one-star reviews claim that Amazon's non-lighted Kindle case caused problems with the device freezing and rebooting itself, and Amazon says that it's looking into the issue and that if anyone is having a problem with Amazon-manufactured Kindle covers, to just go ahead and contact, here's the reference, Kindle TAC Response at Amazon.com, and they'll go ahead and replace it for free or accept a full refund no matter when you bought your case.
Nice job, Amazon. They're like, we're not sure there's a problem, but hey, you know what? If you say there's one, we'll give you your money back. That's customer service. And Gadget reports that Intel's new Sandy Bridge processors are out already. They're not supposed to be announced until January 6th during the Intel keynote announcement, but all 3 chips showed up in retail boxes in an image coming from Malaysian electronics store CompuZone. The 3.4 gigahertz Core i7 cost $939. What is the RM in Malaysia? Is that a... What is that currency?
rupee.
Is it a rupee?
I don't know.
Like a Malaysian rupee?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Anyway,
yeah.
$301.
It's a Rignet.
A Rignet, okay. $301 for the Core i7, 609 Rignets, or $195 for the 3.1
Wingnuts.
gigahertz 2400, and the equivalent of $188 for the 2.8 gigahertz 2300.
What a nickels.
Can we please just have a country whose currency is in Wingnuts? I mean, let's make that happen, people.
A pocket full of Wingnuts.
Their official language is Zap Dingbats.
Okay, this is actually interesting for everybody in this room. Google is definitely getting into the original content space, be it by YouTube or Google TV. Paid Content reports Google is hiring Malik Ducard, who is currently Senior Vice President of Digital Distribution at Viacom-owned film studio Paramount, a little studio, you may have heard of it, according to sources. Ducard is in charge of selling programming for Viacom, so speculation abounds about his role at Google.
Yeah, because he sells content. You'd think Google needs somebody to make a deal about acquiring content or acquiring the rights to stream content.
I don't know.
So are they just going to reverse his role, or is this part of that next new thingy?
I don't know, but it seems like there's a lot of original content rumor mongering around
Or
Google.
OC, original content.
Where's Ice-T when you need him?
UC Davis's, is it Oliver? Yeah, Oliver Kralos has been on this show several times, or at least his work has been. He's one of the Kinect hackers. And when we say hacker, we know he didn't actually change any of the firmware inside the box. It was just a USB reading. However, he's gotten proper 3D video out of the Kinect, and now he's able to do some telepresence 3D representation so that you can actually use it like one of those big Cisco telepresence things. Where is it? And there's also a lightsaber fight.
What?
It's not coming up.
So this is this is some cool stuff. If you go to Engadget.com, they've got the YouTube videos there. Essentially, there's the telepresence on the video version of TNT, where you can see the guy across the table from you. And that's sort of, it's still kind of a jaggy 3D.
artifact-y.
But it looks so awesome. You would expect it to look artifacty.
But that's not the impressive one. Can we get the lightsaber one going?
Yeah, let me get this
Because
one
that's
going.
the impressive one. I don't care about the telepresence. I want to be able to
I just
do a
love the way that
lightsaber fight in 3D.
It almost looks like, something that R2-D2 would be projecting, Just the way that it's jaggy.
Oh, yeah. You look like a little Princess Leia sort of thing.
Right. And since they're getting you from two angles with the two Kinect
there we
modules,
go.
there's kind of a split down the middle.
That looks awesome.
Destroy the PS3 move.
You're actually now they're doing some Sony trash talk. But
Where are their feet?
you're actually able to parry, thrust.
Look at this
All
lightsaber.
that
This is
stuff.
the worst lightsaber fight ever. They're like, stop. They're getting
first
tired.
lightsaber fight with this technology. What do you expect?
What? That lightsaber just flew away. I'm just saying.
Proof of concept.
That happens.
Lightsaber fight is a lightsaber fight. I don't care if it's a Kinect fight. It better be good.
It's pretty awesome.
You gotta practice.
On to the calendar.
All right. FCC votes on net neutrality tomorrow. If you're one of the few people in the world who cares about net neutrality, I know Tom doesn't.
I do.
Darren doesn't.
No, I do.
No, I know.
Of course not.
It's
So
a big
does
deal.
Al Franken,
It's a
my
big deal.
friends.
Wrote a long post
Yeah, I
about
did.
his feelings on net neutrality today. Foursquare location service, also just a little something that a few people care about, has added some new features. You can comment now on people's check-ins, and you can also attach photos to your check-ins.
Only for the iPhone, though.
Only for the iPhone, which it's funny because it appeals to me. I'm a Foursquare user and I'm an iPhone owner, but it doesn't really affect a lot of people that are.
The tech. I'm holding my hands far apart. This is the Tech News Today audience. Then there's the people in the TNT audience that have iPhones, so the hands get closer. Then there's the people in the iPhone TNT audience that have Foursquare, and the hands get much closer. And there's the people in the TNT audience who have iPhones who use Foursquare who really are excited about adding photos. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in that
Well, I'm
sliver.
glad both of them are
But
excited.
everyone is reporting on this
Including
story. This
I
is
know.
a huge, everywhere I went, it was like, this was the biggest story of the day somehow.
I think part of that is because Foursquare always gets the most love when we're talking about location kind of check-in services.
The darling of it.
That's been the way it is so far, at least in my opinion.
Al Franken loves it.
Al Franken, huge Foursquare user. What's weird about it though is that so I went, oh, that's kind of cool. So you could look at people's Instagram check-ins via Foursquare, in theory, if they were all using it that way. But then it's like all these services are just turning into each other. They're all just doing the same thing. They've got like 5 features, and they're all. It's like it's the same service with a different name.
Isn't that good though?
I don't know.
Because then you can
good.
pick whichever one you want. You got competition.
It's like all the cars; they all look the same now.
Yeah, but isn't that good?
Because they're also aerodynamic. I don't know. It's a vanilla world we're living in, and it gets more vanilla every day. Nexus S UK launch has been bumped back to December 22nd, but there's a price cut.
Hey, that's good.
So I guess it's bad news first, good news second. Best Buy is canceling the fees when you, when you
restocking.
Yeah, restocking fees when you have to return something. So that's good.
That's awesome.
That's huge. If you're buying like a laptop or something, you want to return it. You bought the wrong
post-holiday.
laptop. Yeah.
I have never had a restocking fee from Best Buy, and I've returned a few things. Now, I can't think of any huge high-ticket items that I've returned that I would notice this on, but, a variety of, like, headsets and...
Well, headsets usually don't have restocking. It's usually larger stuff.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Or maybe I just, looked good that day or whatever, and they were like, we'll waive the restocker.
Wink,
You're a
wink.
nice kid. Google Voice is extending free calling through Gmail through 2011.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like that.
Thanks, Google. And if you are a science/space/outdoor person, you might be interested in the total lunar eclipse. Begins at 11:41 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tonight, or 2:41 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, technically tomorrow, Tuesday. The totality phase, when the moon is entirely inside Earth's shadow, will last a little over an hour, but we're not going to see a thing.
Yeah, because it's rainy.
Because it's going to be rainy.
So
Maybe
you're
we'll
saying
see
that
a
we're
little
not gonna-
red smudge.
Oh, okay. A red smudge instead of not seeing the moon
Red
not
smudge
there.
at night.
Here, we can see it right now. Jason has a picture of it.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Hey, we didn't have to wait till 11:41. Now I can go to bed early.
Yeah. 11:41. That's late. Come on. It's going to be rainy and dark.
Ugh.
Bummer.
Sounds fun.
No, actually, it
You
does
coming
sound fun. It sounds like a lot of fun if it was clear. I
We'll
don't
sit
think
out
we're
by
going to
the
see
pool
much.
with some hot chocolate and an umbrella and
But
watch the
if
eclipse.
you're in an area where it's going to be clear, it's going to be a really fun party.
On to the email. TNT@twit.tv is the email address. We got an anonymous one first.
First email, from Anonymous. Well, he works on site.
the group.
He or she works on site at NASA, so maybe that's why. Which is technically not a military site, but it is a .gov domain. And I thought I would let you guys know it's even worse than you know. About the same time as the military sites banned access to WikiLeaks, our internal website filters also turned off access. But moreover, we cannot even access sites with the text WikiLeaks in the URL. I can go straight to google.com and do an instant search for it, but no regular HTTP site with the text WikiLeaks is viewable internally through our proxy, and almost none of the links from Google search work. We have received several internal memos stating that viewing any of the leaked information violated security policy, as it should, but I usually have to wait until I get home before I can read any news about the WikiLeaks situation. Just an FYI, not sure if all government facilities are operating the same way.
There are interesting side effects from this. No matter what you think of WikiLeaks and Julian Assange, just how to react to this kind of information getting out and what to do. I think there's going to be a lot of learning out of this situation, because I don't think anyone's ever dealt with this sort of thing before.
Yeah.
In regards to the Google antitrust case, we got an email from Vincent who says, okay, Google is being investigated for not incorporating other search engines. I think that either I'm missing something or the EU is, because to my knowledge, Google's business is not to find, review, and rate other people's software, in this case search engines. As far as I know, in order for Google to include someone else's search results into the site, they must either spider pages that are linked to from other sources, say links to forum posts, or they would have to pass on the search query to the other site. This is especially true for something like maps. You couldn't possibly cache every map location for every address you could put into the engine. And even if you could, would Google really be willing to, or should it be expected to? It raises serious concerns as to how it would affect the speed and security of the search, even ignoring the quality of the search. So he's saying, look, if I'm a competing map provider, like, say, MapQuest, why would I expect that Google would embed my maps into their search engine instead of their own? It just wouldn't make sense.
It must be like a DDoS to that service, too. Take him down, Google.
Yeah, spider every single possible intersection request.
Speaking of, remember MapQuest?
Yeah, they're still around.
I know they're still around. I just remember using them all the time.
I used to
and I never
use
used them.
Yahoo Map Blast.
Map Blast.
Remember Map Blast?
Wow, that's a deep cut.
I know. Yeah. Going way back today.
Yeah. That's like Motown.
That's my Wayback Machine.
All right.
You liked it.
Fantastic Monday again. Thank you both. It's good to have you both back in the same room together again.
It's good to be back. I like Darren's face.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
You're facing
I don't.
yourself or something.
There are other places to see your face, right?
Yeah, you can see my face at HAK5.org. We're talking about all sorts of fun stuff this week on the show, including
your face,
including my face. I tell a wonderful story about Unix commands,
and you can see his face the
You'll
whole time. All right, folks, you can email us your face, TNT@twit.tv, or give us a call, describe your face, 260-TNT show, or add your face to our wiki. You can find the link at twit.tv/TNT. Our face. We'll see you tomorrow. When I say our, I guess I mean me and Jason.